Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing this eyeshadow look playing with the Flare palette from Ace Beauté. There were two colors in here that I specifically wanted to combine, and then the rest sort of just fell into place. I did grab a white from a different palette, and I was playing a little bit again with some graphic eyeliner, which you may or may not be able to see depending on my early morning lighting. If you want to see what I did, then stick around. I'm going to start, as I always do, by priming my eyes. Here's the Glamlight Icing Primer. The shade I'm using today is Buttercream. I have two of these. I have Buttercream and I have White Frosting. And if I'm doing an intentionally light or pastel look, I usually grab White Frosting. And if I'm doing something that's more neutral or dark or warm toned, then I'll probably go for Buttercream. In the case of today, I just went for whatever I picked up first. It was the one that was closest to hand. Both of my primers are getting a little bit low, and instead of ordering again from Glamlight, because I don't think I'm not really interested in doing Glamlight anymore, they would have to release something that was so incredibly up my alley that I was willing to go back into the brand. But instead of placing another Glamlight order just for the primer, which I do like their primer, and it has helped me with creasing when a brand, you know, is a bit troublesome for me. I'll probably try Juvia's Place next, because I could just grab that from Ulta, I think. But let me know in the comments below if you have a favorite primer that you can get at a retail store rather than paying for shipping online. So basically I want to use the Flare palette today. This is from Ace Beauté. I kind of want to use this and this. And I'm not sure if I want to deepen it with a dark green or deepen it with a brown, or just keep it more light tone and go with the yellow. Just weird, you know, light tone, but also kind of mustardy and neutral. I feel like if I were to lay these two down, the blue is going to be too different. It needs to blend into something darker, I think.
2,000 years later.
And then usually I use a shimmer to bridge the gap if there is too much disparity between my shimmer and my mattes. So I'm thinking if I do the brown, I could use one of these shimmers if necessary. I'm not sure, but I don't have a ton of time because my husband will be waking up soon, and then shortly thereafter, I'm sure my children will be waking up, so let's get going. I'll start with Acorn and put this right here. So I hurt my wrist the other day, and I have no idea how I did it. On Sunday, it started bothering me, and it's just this space right here. It's a little bit swollen, not a lot, but a little bit. My husband says that because it's connected to the thumb, it's most likely a tendon. So I'm trying to think of what I did that would have bothered my tendon. I don't know what I did, but it's been sore for 3 days, and I've been taking Tylenol and icing it, and I have no idea what I did. Now I want to take the sherbet color. This is really the one that I wanted to play with. So I'm taking sherbet and putting it in the whole crease. It is light enough to bring all the way to my inner corner area, like the inner crease. And then I'll just use this on the outside of this brown shade to pull it out and blend it out and have a bit of fun. Anyway, so I don't know how I hurt my wrist, but it's bothering me, and I'm really glad that it's my left wrist and not my right, because I'm right-handed. But the left side is the one that holds my children. I've always got a kid on this side. So yesterday I was holding my baby, but I wasn't bringing my wrist around. I was just holding her with like my forearm. It was a little awkward. The only thing that I can think of for how I hurt myself was we went to a symphony concert the other night, and it was pretty crowded, and I made the mistake of bringing the baby into the building in the car seat, which I then eventually brought back out to the car. I should have just taken the baby out of the car seat and brought her in like that, but I didn't think that far ahead. So I was navigating through the crowd with the car seat. When you're holding the car seat on your hip, it's pretty wide, so I had turned it to be a little bit longer so that I could kind of put it on my hip and angle through the crowd this way. It was just kind of awkward, and it was me holding the car seat at a different angle than I usually do, and with the strength of my wrist as opposed to my full arm and shoulder. So maybe that's what it was. I'm not sure. That's all I can think of what it might have been. Or because I always hold the car seat in the crook of that elbow, maybe I damaged a nerve with the weight of the car seat all the time, and or my toddler, who helps by linking her arm into the car seat and walking along next to me. But she's so much shorter than me because she's only 2. So when she does that, I find myself down here holding the car seat at a very weird angle while the toddler helps. I don't know. Those are the only things I can think of. I have no idea. I'm taking sherbet and putting it on the lid space down here as well. Just a little bit. I don't know, maybe not. Let's go into a shimmer. The shimmer is Bayberry. It's a nice light sky blue kind of color. I'm going to load up my brush quite a good bit and then spray it. I'd like to place Bayberry on basically the whole lid space, or the whole inner, inner 2/3. I just wanted to play with this bizarre color combination. I wanted that algae slime green kind of color mixed with the sky blue because it's fun. Did you ever hurt yourself and have no idea how you did it? I don't know if this is something that happens as we get older. Maybe we just don't notice when we're kids. I mean, I'm only in my mid-30s, but I definitely find that I'll have a sore spot where I'll like, oh, I've got a black and blue mark. Where did that come from? Or I find a welt on myself. I don't know. I've always bruised a little bit more easily. So it's bizarre. I don't know how I hurt myself, but I hope that it resolves soon. It's not a big deal. It's just a nuisance. Okay, so this is what I was talking about, the blue shimmer into the brown matte. I do want to bridge that gap a little bit, so I think I'll pick up, do I want to go berry or bronze? Let's swatch them. Mirage and Firefly. I think that Mirage would be fun, be a little bit more jewel tone, but I think it's gonna not bridge the gap as successfully and also clash a little bit. So I'll do Firefly. Firefly right here. And I wasn't planning on using my finger, but I might as well since it's on my finger. Once it's tapped pretty much in this column right here, I will go back into my brush and drag the blue over to it, because I do want the blue to be the focus. And now I'm going back into my blending brush with the brown on it. I'm now taking the product to intensify this outer area because what look? Oh, it was a look with it was yesterday's look with In Mail's Memory. I ended up adding black to the outer corner after the fact, like after the whole video was done and I saw my look in daylight and I thought, oh, it needs some more depth. It needs a little bit more contrast. So I'm trying to take care of that now on camera rather than doing it ex post facto. I'm going to mirror these colors onto the lower lash line. I generally like it to match. So I think I'm just going to do, in this smaller space, the brown in the outer corner and softly drag it this direction. It's just going to carry a little bit lighter as we go. It occurs to me that perhaps I've done something similar to this before within the last year using the Flare palette. These two colors, the slime green and the sky blue, those are colors that I've been wanting to combine for a while. I don't remember if I did. So I'll have to look it up out of curiosity to see if this is something I've already done or is it just a look that's been living in my brain for a year. Bayberry on a very, very small blending brush. I am placing this onto the inner lower lash line area, but I actually have a different plan for my inner corner. So let's do that. For the inner corner, where is it? I want to use Stone and Rock from Udensai. There's a lovely white in here, a white matte. Okay. That's fun. I like it even more when it's done on the other side. And now I'm really curious to know if I did this or something like this recently. I'm gonna have to look that up. I will go off camera and do the other side, and I'll be right back. I was gonna have this section of hair out today, but it's making me look very shaggy. My postpartum hair loss is finally coming in, and it's doing strange things, you know. So anyway, let me tell you what I did to finish off. In my waterline, I used a vintage gold color. It's called Fade Away from ColourPop. And then I have a winged eyeliner in the outer corner, but nothing on the inner, and some mascara. Also, I used my Split It Painter's Paradise palette from Artitude Cosmetics. This is linked down below along with everything else. I did some little... Sorry, that's the floor creaking above me because my husband just got up. I did some little gold dots. I think I did 5 gold dots starting here, and I made sure that they were on top of my hood so that you can see them if you catch the right light. They're not so obvious that you could see them, you know, in any lighting, but if I turn a certain direction, then somebody might see the little metallic gold dots. So I have those right here from this palette. And then on my lips, I have 2 different glosses. Here is the NYX This Is Milky Gloss in the shade Mint Choco Chip, and I also have the NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Bit of Honey. So I just put these together. I have some mascara, And that is everything. I don't have any blush or highlighter or anything else because I forgot. That's why. Should I put on some blush? Let me talk to you guys about blush briefly. I'll use my Tarte blush palette. I have mentioned in 2 previous videos that I've just been experimenting with blush placement and general location. In the first of those 2 videos, I had put the blush a little bit up high here. I was looking at Angelica Nyqvist's placement, and she has a different face shape than I do, but she puts her blush a little bit higher. And then in the second video, I put my blush right on the cheekbone itself, and I preferred that placement. Now, I don't wear much blush, honestly. Which one should I use today? I think I'll go with this one up here. I don't wear much blush, yeah, that was right, much blush, but I've just been having some fun experimenting, and in order to see where the placement works, I have to put on enough that I can actually see the blush. So let's try that today. You guys can tell me if you have any thoughts. I definitely don't want to bring it too far down here towards my mouth. I want to keep it on the cheekbone and back. That's the placement I've been playing with. It's interesting when you look at somebody who does makeup really well and they know what they're doing, and then you try to emulate them. I can copy Angie in eyeshadow all the time, all day long. But for other things, I have to consider the shapes of our faces. You know, she talks about how she puts certain products on her forehead because she has a smaller forehead and she wants to make it appear larger. And I honestly never noticed about my forehead. I don't think I have a small forehead. I mean, who looks at foreheads? Who looks at foreheads? Come on. But I know that Angie has spent a lot of time in the beauty, makeup, and modeling industry, so she ought to know. Like, she would be the person to know. I do not have that experience. No. Might depend on the hairline, and because of postpartum hair loss, my hairline has been changing. I digress. That is the whole look. I would love to know your thoughts. I always appreciate your feedback. You know, I do find that I'm a bit more creative when I'm filming a look, and I like that challenge. I like the impetus that it gives me to maybe get out of my comfort zone a little bit. I also like to carve out this time for myself when nobody's around, nobody needs me. It's just me being creative and having some fun with color. When I do my eyeshadow off camera, it tends to be on a day when I'm not able to film, so it's a little bit busier. I find myself a little bit less creative on those days. I don't think it has anything to do with filming per se. It's just the whole experience of sitting down with a little bit of time for me and being creative, as opposed to throwing on some eyeshadow between housework and chores or between the children needing me just because I want to wear eyeshadow, if that makes any sense. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for clicking on my channel and giving me just a little piece of your day. I hope you're enjoying this content and you'll consider liking and subscribing before you go. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.